Still in quarantine, not a single video made yet. What is a man to do at a time like this? Did I just hear someone ask for a video with every Dragon Ball game I know about? Great idea! Play the intro! I love all things Dragon Ball. Okay, most things Dragon Ball. And I also love all things video games. Okay, most things video games, but with a combination like that, you'd have to say that I love all Dragon Ball games. And you'd be right. Except I don't. Now before I start this video, yes, I am aware ProJared did a video like this quite a while ago, but mine and his opinions differ, so this won't be a copy-paste video. So, let's get started. With me pointing out something. I'll only be covering games released within the 2000s onwards, as I was born around then and have therefore managed to play at one point all of these games. So anything for the NES, the SNES will not be covered. And also, if it hasn't left Japan, I can't cover it because I have never been to Japan. So, let's get going. First game. Okay, first game is Final Bout. Oh boy. So, Dragon Ball GT Final Bout was released on the PS4 in 1997 and is still regarded as one of the most infamous Dragon Ball games on the planet. Firstly, take a look at this exquisite menu. Doesn't this just scream future fourth highest grossing anime of all time? Then there's the roster. So, as you can see, we have Goku, Pan, Goku, Trunks, Vegeta, Goku again, Gohan, Cell, Kid Buu, Frieza, Piccolo, Goku again, Trunks again, Vegito, Goku again, and Goku. And Trunks for a third freaking time. So in total, we have 10 different characters in a 17-character roster. 3 of which don't even count because they originated from DBZ and were tried as filler for GT. Now on to gameplay, which can be summed up with a small little similarity. Have you ever played an online fighting game with someone and their connection was so bad that one button press was delayed by around a second and required time before you could do anything again? That's how every motion in Final Bout looks and feels. The characters look like compressed N64 models and move about as fast as a snail in a puddle of tar. Now, as to not sound as complacent as all hell, I can list the positives about this game. Soundtrack's pretty good. Opening FMV's pretty good. That's all I can really think to say about the game. It's clunky, its layout's boring, it has a fixation with putting Goku on the screen 6 different times. But I'm pretty sure the next game will be good.
You have a call.
Come on. Hang on. Hello?
Hold on there.
Oh! If it isn't Twitter's very own protector of memes. How can I help you today?
You forgot about the dubbed voice acting.
It's not that I didn't want to talk about it, it's just, I kinda just want to move on.
Are you forgetting that our Californian Lord and Savior Steve Bloom was in
You
the
are aware
game?
that's one of his lesser regarded works. I'd rather just let the guy be.
Steve Bloom. Steve Bloom.
Could you be quiet for just 5 minutes? I still have a video to work on.
Not until you cover the voice acting.
Okay, fine, I'll cover it, for God's sake.
There. Payback for holding back on the Unleashed review.
The things I do for people. So as the man said, the game has quite the dubbing done to it, with names such as Jonathan Cook as Perfect Cell, Milton James as Vegeta, and yes, Steve Bloom as Son Goku. And his performance as Goku is
You look strong. This should be a good fight. So, let's see how strong you are.
Not the worst I've heard for a Dragon Ball dub.
Chi-Chi! What is it? What happened? Answer me!
It's Gohan. Our son was kidnapped. He was taken away by some horrible creature.
Kidnapped? I don't believe it. Which way did they go?
Impossible to tell, but they were determined to get his crystal ball no matter what.
Did they say why? Did they say?
See my point? So in conclusion, the music's good, the opening cinematic's good, but everything else is either subpar or just outright poor. Right, now that I've covered everything about this game, it's time to go on to the second one! After Final Bout and the release of the PlayStation 2, 2002 was the year of Dragon Ball Z Budokai, a game that follows the story of Dragon Ball Z from the Saiyan Saga to the end of Gohan's fight against Cell. This game goes from the 17-character roster of Final Bout to a 23-character roster, and that's without duplicating characters. Now, if it isn't clear from the footage I'm showing you, this game looks and plays far better than Final Bout, but that isn't really a difficult task. Secondly, Dragon Ball Z Budokai also has a story mode, which retells the story of the anime pre-Buu saga, with animated cutscenes and even some what-if scenarios to break up the story. Graphics definitely got a major improvement, going from models that look just better than stick figures to detail actually being added. Although that's not just to the characters, if you look at the stages, they're actually pretty good too. Another way to show that Budokai was superior to Final Bout is that this is the first Dragon Ball Z game to use the official Funimation dub, which means instead of having Steve Blum, it's Sean Schemmel, and Christopher Sabat voicing the majority of them. But all in all, a lot better than Final Bout's throw together. Now, I may be speaking rather positively about this game, but it hasn't really aged very well from 2002. Firstly, Goku can't do the Kamehameha without a 4-hit combo first. This goes for every character in the game. If Vegeta wants to do the Gallic Gun, he's got to do a couple punches and kicks beforehand. No special moves can be done without a combo. There's a couple other minor issues, but they got fixed in the HD collection for the PS3 and Xbox 360, so it's not really worth being a negative Nancy over them. And just like Final Bout, the game's soundtrack is really good. This would follow through for the other 3 games in the series, which leads us to Budokai 2. The second game made for the series, Budokai 2, added the missing Buu Saga characters and improved on the gameplay. For instance, special moves could be performed with special inputs instead of being forced to do a combo beforehand. Also, there's some pretty good steps forward, but there was one step that sent this game careening down a cliff. Enter Dragon World, the most convoluted and unbearable story mode a Dragon Ball game may have ever had, in my opinion. And this is coming from a guy who's played through most of the games that retell the anime. Instead of an easy-to-follow retelling, the Dragon World places you onto a chess-like board, where you move around, fighting random enemies to obtain items. There's little to no reason, yet the game insists that you proceed in it. Now, I don't want to rag on this game too much, considering it was so overwhelmingly bad that it wasn't included in the Budokai HD collection.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
And like I said, the soundtrack's really good, the gameplay got a couple tweaks that were really good, but the best was yet to come with the third game, Budokai 3. Budokai 3 was released in 2005, and to this day, you can go through any Dragon Ball Z Top 10 Games list, and I will assure you, you will find this game in the list. It is actually that good. There were further gameplay tweaks added, such as you can now do special moves a lot easier, the combat looked a lot flashier, there were a lot better graphics added, and they also added Dragon Rush, which if you hit your opponent with a heavy attack, you can then go through a QTE section where upon 3 successful button presses, you can do either a special move that's hidden within Dragon Rush exclusively, or you can wail on your opponent with a heavy attack combo.
Let's go! Goku.
Dragon World was also dropped. Oh, thank God.
Never joined
And was
forces
replaced
you.
with, you guessed it, a retelling of the anime, which also now included GT. Wait. GT Final Bout, 1997. Budokai 3, 2005. Budokai 3 added GT characters. I knew it. Budokai 3 is technically Final Bout 2! All jokes aside, with the gameplay additions, the roster, and just the way the game looks, feels, and sounds, there is no doubt in my mind as to why this game is in multiple top 10s. So, we talked about Final Bout, and how not good that game is. Budokai 1, where we talked about how meh the game is. Budokai 2, we talked about how meh the game is. Budokai 3, being praised to high heaven. And now the fifth game, before I end this part, we're going to talk about, that's right, Dragon Ball Z Sagas.
It's unwise to talk about this game, young one.
Excuse me, who are you and how did you get into my house?
I am the Overseer. I oversee all. I have seen the damage Dragon Ball Z Sagas can do to a man. Please, my child, promise me that you will not play this game. Return to the Xenoverse duology. Return to Fighters. This game is more damaging than Dragon Ball Z for Connect.
It can't be that bad. I mean, come on, it's a two-player cooperative Dragon Ball Z game made by Atari. What could go...
A few moments later.
My God, why did it have to be me? Why am I the one left with the burden of Dragon Ball Z Sagas? You could have given this to anybody. Is this what I get for praising Konami? The punishment you have given me is too severe. This was a mistake. I want to go back. Can we please not do this? Please, for the love of God, don't make me talk about this. Look, I am a Dragon Ball Super fan. If Super didn't exist, it would make a lot more sense. I'm a fan of Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super. There is pretty much nothing of Dragon Ball that I have not enjoyed to some extent. Except Dragon Ball Z Sagas. I have despised every second of it. Okay, just for a little while, think about how compelling this is. A two-player cooperative Dragon Ball Z game where you can sit next to your friend and play through key moments of the Dragon Ball Z series as Goku, Piccolo, Vegeta, and so on and so forth, going through the many key fights that the franchise brought us. This sounds pretty cool, right? Well, it isn't. Firstly, it's a Dragon Ball Z game with very little flying in it. It's like a Sonic game without the speed. Or a Mario game without the pipes. Or a Metal Gear Solid game without Snake as a playable character. Why am I suddenly both happy and sick to my stomach after saying that one? Okay, so technically I lied about the flying, but let me put it this way. Flying in Dragon Ball Z Sagas does not allow you to go any higher than jumping height. The graphics seem to have gone down from Budokai 3 to Budokai 1, which makes no sense, considering Sagas was made after Budokai 3. And the cherry on top of the worst cake you have ever tasted in your life is the glitches. If you've been on any other YouTube channel that's ever covered this game, you will know how bug-ridden the whole thing is. It is one of the more broken Dragon Ball Z games that has been released. And I hate to bring it up again, but Dragon Ball Z for Kinect worked better than this. Gameplay is boring. The freaking graphics aren't really that good for a game that came out the time it did. The story's just a retelling, and this one a lazy one at that, which has additional sections such as Goku fighting an alien off planet Yardrat, which was never shown in the anime whatsoever, so it comes off as forced in. And let me just put it this way. All unlockable characters, including Broly, are all as strong as each other, with very little gameplay changes. The combos are almost the same. The only thing that changes is the color of the blast, the type of blast that it is, and what they shout when they fire it. So in conclusion, I think you can tell that I don't like Dragon Ball Z Sagas very much. And no, 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 do not expect Dragon Ball Z Sagas to be getting a separate review. It is not happening. I am not touching this game again. I will see you in part 2. Goodbye, X-Boy signing out. Oh God, why?